Hey guys, so I got a number of comments and questions relating to the old Mythic Nighthold talent guide, and rather than simply just updating the guide, I wanted to use a different approach. So here we are at warcraftlogs.com. This is the website that I used to create the first talent guide. A lot of seasoned raiders already do something very similar to this, so this guide is definitely geared towards somebody who's looking at getting into raiding or just new to raiding in general and looking at how to determine the best talents for each fight. So up along the top here, you can click on these little lines and it will bring the drop down for each raid. Underneath the raid is every boss in the tier. And you can select each one if you wanted to look at one specifically, or you can just go through all of them. I chose to open up here Corrosis because it's a single target fight. It's pretty straightforward as far as the talents are concerned. What it will first bring you to is a page with all the classes and specs, but we want to go to this drop down and select Destruction Warlock so that we limit our search to only Destrolocks. Along the right hand side here, it will show you the talents each one took. And actually on the top as well, top left, it shows you, I believe, just the most common ones that were taken. Ones they would recommend are the most popular. It looks like the only difference here is ELT or Empowered Life Tap versus Eradication, and then, whether they want the movement or defensive. So that's pretty straightforward. If you wanted to figure out what talents to use, they're pretty much the same. On Tichondrius here, it's a little different. So we have people taking Channel Demon Fire, Soul Conduit, they're also taking Wreak Havoc. And then also on this tier here, we have people doing Cataclysm, Fire and Brimstone, and Soul Harvest. So this is a little bit different. And it's a great example of how you can use different talent setups to fill a different DPS role. So we have it looks like number 5 here is doing a single target role, whereas pretty much the majority of the rest of them are doing different types of cleave roles. It looks like number 11 down there is running Soul Harvest, but also is taking Wreak Havoc. So he's obviously cleaving, but he wants the single target. Number 1 is through 3, they're all doing, Grimmer of Sacrifice and Fire and Brimstone, Soul Conduit, running trinkets like Kill Jadens or the ring that buffs your Rain of Fire, so they're very much an AoE role. But the key is that you can perform each role, and so that's what I wanted to emphasize here, and I want you to keep that in mind. Because you should come to Warcraft Logs to look at the talents to get a starting point for where you should begin, but when it ultimately comes down to a progression setting, you need to choose the talents that will output the damage that your raid needs. And if you have the legendaries and the gear set that allows you to do great single target damage, it doesn't matter if the top 10 parses on Warcraft Logs are all AoE, padding specs. If your raid lacks single target and you can provide it, that's what you need to do. And you need to coordinate this with your raid leader and other members of your guild so that you're all on the same page. My personal example of this is the first time I was progging Tichondrius, I was doing single target Destro, but by the end of it when we got our kill, I had switched to Affliction and I was an AoE spec just because I was able to provide that damage and our raid needed it. Same thing with Spellblade Alluriel. I was single target for that. I ended up, by the kill I was still Destro single target, but there's a lot of ads in that fight. People think let's cleave, let's go crazy on all the other stuff. Well, we needed boss damage and I could provide that. So just things to keep in mind. Now, I know this may not be the talent guide you were looking for, but this is my best advice when choosing talents is go to Warcraft Logs, look at what other people are using. When I made the first talent guide, it was on the 3rd day Mythic Nighthold was released, so there wasn't a lot of information available. So the best thing you can do is learn your talents, learn how they work together and synergize, and how you can use each one to fill a different role. Good luck to everyone as you finish up Nighthold and get into Tomb. I just want to thank you all for watching, and I hope this was helpful.